I remember the night clearly. The garage lights flickered as I stood among my 10 cars, my pride, my obsession, my escape. Each one had been earned with blood, sweat, and years of silence while my parents funneled everything into my sister. She was the golden child. I was the burden that paid for her comfort. But when my parents demanded I liquidate everything I loved, my $1.5 million collection, just to buy her a house she hadn't worked a day for, I realized this wasn't family anymore. It was extortion. So I smiled, I nodded, and that night, while they slept, I moved every car to a warehouse 3 towns away. Quiet, hidden, legally mine. It wasn't always this way. As kids, I defended my sister. She was fragile, spoiled, but I thought I was protecting her. When I got my first job, I used my paychecks to cover her debts. When I bought my first car, my father said, "One day, you'll be a man. Until then, you're just a driver with toys." I told myself they didn't understand, but they understood well enough when they came from my collection. "You have 10 cars," my mother said flatly. "She doesn't even have a roof. A house is family. Cars are just steel." And my sister laughed, her nails clicking against her phone screen. "You're obsessed with your stupid toys. Grow up. Be useful." The betrayal wasn't just in the words, it was in the entitlement. The weeks that followed were a storm of pressure. My father shoved realtor flyers at me. My mother hinted about family obligations. My sister texted me house listings, mansions she couldn't dream of affording, captioned with, "This one's perfect. Sell the red one and the black one. That should cover it." That was when something inside me shifted. Not anger, not heartbreak, clarity. They thought I was cornered. They thought I'd break. Instead, I began to plan. Step 1, disappear my collection. Each car was moved in silence, contracts signed, titles transferred into a holding trust, one they couldn't touch. By dawn, the garage was empty, cold, echoing. When my parents walked in the next day, all they found was space. My father's face drained. My mother demanded, "Where are they?" I shrugged. Gone. Their fury was volcanic. My sister shrieked, "You selfish freak!" But I'd already learned the most important rule. Never argue with people who see you as a wallet. Just cut off the wallet. Step 2, bait the trap. I let them believe I'd caved. I hinted about selling. I asked my sister what kind of house she wanted. She bragged to her friends that her loser brother was finally paying his debt. Meanwhile, I was working behind the scenes. I bought a small, crumbling house in her name, cash. Legally hers. No mortgage, no escape clause. The deed tied her down like chains. On the surface, it looked like generosity. In reality, it was the beginning of her prison. The day I handed her the keys, my parents beamed with pride. At her, not me. "Finally," my mother said, patting my arm like I was some obedient pet. "You did one useful thing." My sister tossed me a smirk. "Guess you're not completely worthless." I stayed silent, because silence is sharper than a blade. Step 3, let time do the work. The house wasn't just old, it was a money pit. Leaks, broken wiring, hidden repairs that bled cash every month. And she was unemployed. At first, she demanded I help with maintenance. I declined. My parents screamed. I ignored them. Slowly, her savings dissolved. The shiny dream turned into a rotting nightmare. The house dragged her under, one repair at a time. And my parents? They couldn't bail her out. They'd spent decades enabling her. Their accounts were dry. They began to resent her. The golden child's shine began to rust. The final step wasn't planned. It was poetic. This morning, I woke to a message from her, a single photo. Her standing in the cracked doorway of that house. The paint peeling, her smile gone. And under it her words, "I can't do this anymore. Come take your stupid house back." But here's the truth. She can't walk away. It's legally hers. The debt, the decay, the liability, all chained to her name. And me? I was standing in my warehouse, sunlight bouncing off the hood of my Ferrari when I read it. I should have felt guilt, but all I felt was release. For years, I was the shadow they fed off, the workhorse, the wallet, the disposable son. Now, they're drowning in the very greed they weaponized against me. And I'm finally free. The roar of my engines echoes louder now. Not because of the cars, but because they represent something more. Proof that I didn't bow. Proof that I outplayed them at their own game. They wanted my collection gone. Instead, I vanished them. And when the engine starts, when the road opens in front of me, I think of one simple truth. Family doesn't betray you by accident. But when they do, you don't just forgive. You finish the story. And I did.